Hey everyone and welcome. We are Next Level Business Advisors and this is Business Stories of Success. If you want to break through and achieve your own business success by learning from other successful business owners, you're in the right channel. For more of our content, make sure you click subscribe and don't forget the bell icon so you're the first to be notified when new videos are added. Enjoy today's video.
Hello, hello, hello. You're with Marc Adams at Next Level Business Advisors. And today I'm in cold New Jersey talking to someone in beautiful Trinidad. So jelly, so jelly. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine, Mark.
Awesome. We're joined by Nadia Byer-Thomas, and she is the owner of 800 Tech Limited. I guess you can guess that's a technology company. Did I get it right?
You're most correct. But just a slight correction, I'm a co-owner. I'm sharing the hat with my husband.
Okay, co-owner. All right,
Yes.
all right. She's how humble, how humble.
Yeah, you're gonna put me in trouble, Mark.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be careful. Okay, yeah, she is the co-owner, and I knew that, ladies and gentlemen. She didn't try to take credit. I just was trying to give her propers. Nah, just kidding. So, so tell us a little bit about you, and it's nice because you mentioned co-owner. We're gonna dig into that a little bit. Tell us a little bit about you. Who are you, and tell us about your business.
Oh, definitely. So I am proud mother of two children, a boy, he is 12, going on 22, I swear. My daughter is 11. And as I mentioned before, I'm married to my co-owner of the company, Thomas. I am also an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for approximately, I would say, going on 15 years with 800 Tech. And our company is a business technology solutions provider. It's a very long statement, but what it simply means is that we bridge the gap between the business and technology world. Because a lot of times there is a gap in that conversation where business entities fail to understand how technology could really improve, empower, make their environment more productive and efficient. And what we seek to do from a strategic level all the way down to the operational level is really show them how technology can be infused and integrated to meet those needs that are so critical for their business to be profitable and productive.
Nice, very nice. Well stated. Do you have a specific business entity that you work with, an industry? Do you niche, or do you just work with all businesses in this regard?
I'm not going to say that's the beauty of technology. Technology allows you to literally cross all industries, all sectors, because, and I'm sure you know this, Mark, technology underpins every single organization, no matter what department it is, no matter what your organization is doing. So we've had I would say, luxury and also the blessing of being able to touch every single sector.
Beautiful. I like that. I like that. I'm going to dig into a little bit about your role in the business. So it's nice. Sometimes, well, a lot of times I'm dealing with a solopreneur, but now you are a co-owner. You made that clear. So
Yes.
Tell us, what is your role in your business?
Well, I am the director of operations. So I wear many hats. We do have an entity of 15 persons, but really and truly, the helm is run by my husband and myself. So as the director of operations, I handle, first of all, the administrative arm of things. So the finances, the HR, and any other administrative tasks that are involved in there. Because we do have consultants that support, so I'm more like overseeing than actually running the flag up the hill, so to speak. But from a more core business perspective, I really am involved in getting new business, having those tough negotiations with new vendors or new clients, as the case might be, negotiating the contracts, getting them executed, and getting those projects initiated. Normally, once the projects are in their initiation phase, I do the handover to our team, and our team runs it through and gets it completed.
I love it. It sounds really nice and organized, which is powerful. So now, I don't normally ask this question because I don't normally have co-owners, but this is interesting because for those people who are starting their business and they want to pair with others, what role does your husband play in the business?
My husband is core IT. So he is really the person, because at the end of the day, I mean, yes, while I have IT knowledge, it's more from a managerial perspective as opposed to the core IT. And he really is that in the company more than anything else. Yes, he has business knowledge. That goes without saying because he is the MD of the organization. But in terms of the nooks and cranny of the, you guys know that word, I hope, of the organization, when we're doing those detailed bits of the technology, that's where he steps in. That's where he can really guide our team much more competently than I would be able to. I would really just be taking more the overview perspective of how things are going.
Nice. And I like that when people can work, and you're a successful business owner. I'm going to make that statement even before I ask you the question, and you will confirm that I'm not a knucklehead and tell me that I'm right later on. But what I like with the successful organization, what you guys have been around, how many years have you been in business now?
We've been around for about 17 years.
Right.
Different 800 Tech there's an evolution that took place with 800 Tech. So we won't always call 800 Tech.
Okay.
We evolved into that, like most other businesses, where you find your sweet spot, so to speak.
Right.
So 800 Tech in its core has been around for roughly about 8 to 9 years, but us in business for about 17 years. So
Beautiful.
I think that's where the yin and yang with my husband and I come in, where he's very clear about what he is responsible for and what he needs to do to make the organization work well. And I'm very clear about my roles and responsibilities as well. That's
what I was really getting at. And thank you for that, because a lot of times people ask me, should I take on a partner? And I always say, if you're going to take someone on, it has to be complementary, right? It's
very much so.
Having a clone is not really a great partnership, right? You have to have complementary attributes. Doesn't mean I don't know your role a little bit and you know my role a little bit, but like you said, it's clearly defined, and you guys sound like you've evolved that to have this picture perfect operation now. Takes a little bit of time probably, but now you're there.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm probably oversimplifying it, as as we all do. When you get to the end stage, you're like, oh, this is what it is. But it took a minute. It definitely did, to figure out, okay, this is what you're really good at, and this is what I'm really good at, and to really marry that well, rather than just overlapping and stomping on each other. Because in the beginning, it was a challenge. Because my husband, he's the one who started the business, and I was actually working with a private entity, and I came into the business. So it took some time to really make that adjustment and really understand where my role is, how I fit in, and also to transition from a enterprise corporate entity to an SME company. There is also that cultural shift and that adjustment in mindset that takes place. So 17 years later, I can tell you, we've got a well-oiled machine. But I can assure you, at that point in time, no.
I understand. Hey, business is an evolution. I don't care if you're a solopreneur or, no one starts out mastering it. They all are learning. So that's awesome. I like that. Let me make sure before I forget, contact information, right? People want to find you. How do we find you? If we need your services, how do we reach out to your company, 800 Tech?
Well, we have our website, which is www.800-tech.com. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, 800 Tech. You just type it in the search and we'll pop right up. You can also reach us at 1-868-223-8324, which is 223 Tech. And of course, you can find me easily on LinkedIn. I'm Nadia Byer-Thomas, all one word, on LinkedIn.
Wow. I can tell you listen to a few podcasts because you spelled everything out. I didn't even ask you. You're like, hey,
I told you.
Beautiful. Awesome. And it's good. I was speaking to one person recently, and how do we find you? And they said, the name, but they didn't spell their name normally. So if someone's going to look, they'll never find you. So it's always good to spell it out like you did. Bow, boom. Let's ask the next question. What makes you guys experts in your field?
I think it's years of experience, one. And I also think more importantly, it's understanding people, believe it or not, because when you get into the different environments, you begin to realize the nuances of different organizations. And we need always to find which one of our resources is best suited for this particular project. How do we fit into this dynamic? So it's not just, because at the end of the day, technology is technology. You go, you learn, you specialize, you spend some years, you will get it, no problem. But understanding the cultures of the different organizations being able to flex, being able to be mindful of what is taking place and how can I make this work? How can I fix this stumbling block? And that comes with years of experience. That comes with really listening to your client, really being present with what's taking place. And I think that's a huge difference from persons who rush in and like, oh, you need this, and I'm going to hand you this. There is always a lot more behind the I need this, because a lot of times when you start to do the deep dive, you realize your clients are really not sure what they need, or they've heard about something, but it may not be the best fit for what they truly need. So that's why I'm saying that element, I think, is a critical component to the success of our organization.
I like it. I like that a lot. And you're right. I think I used to do computer programming. And so, you know, there's like the programming side, but the business analyst is sitting there with the end user and telling the programmer, this is what we need. And I'm saying, I'm not doing that. And they're like, but they need it for this. And I go, oh, okay. Or I tell them I need something, and the client says, oh, I need it this way. And without that middle person to tell you exactly how it should lay out, the visionary, it can be a challenge. And so it sounds like you guys got that really nicely in place. So here is an interesting question. Because you're not just doing, like, according to what I'm hearing, like, I'm not just selling you some software, I'm doing an end-to-end technical solution. What made you decide on that specific line of business?
It's a great question. I think in the first instance, it's because technology is always evolving. So that really is exciting to both myself and my husband, because neither of us like to keep doing the same thing over and over and over. And, you know, I will give you even a very simple example. Like, within the last 3 to 4 years, we've really gotten aggressively into digital transformation in our organization. And before, it was really just strategic IC, where we sit with the C-suite of organizations, find out your strategic vision, speak to you about how can we integrate IT into the organization, and then we bring in our business ops people who will now roll out whatever has been discussed and agreed upon. But as you know, with IT, you really need to stay abreast of the trends. What's the new hot thing? What's coming? And before even COVID and everybody rushing towards digital transformation, digital transformation was coming. It was slowly creeping in. And we're like, because we're constantly watching trends, this looks like something that we need to step into. But again, and I'm sure in the next 5 years, if we have a conversation again, Mark, I'll be telling you, this is where we're here now, because this is the new emerging trend in IT. This is what is exciting everyone. And this is what can set your business apart. So we got into digital transformation, and it took some time because it was a totally new frontier. So it took some learning. It took re-education of, okay, how do we do this? And even when you were speaking a minute ago about understanding what your client really needs, digital transformation, that's a huge part of it. Where are you? Where do you want to go? And literally us transforming your organization to get you to that finish line. So that is so important to us, because we're able to now keep evolving, keep changing, keep being excited about what we do, because it's always something different that we're being exposed to and exploring day by day. So now that we're into digital transformation, we're now looking, okay, what's the next emerging bit of technology that we can start to wrap our hands around that will keep changing the dynamics of the organization and keep us excited about technology? And for me and for him, that's something that no other specialty can give you. You know, technology consistently gives you that. And that's why we love it.
I like that. I like that. As you're going on and on, I'm thinking to myself, as you're explaining why you love what you love, that is what makes an entrepreneur an entrepreneur. An employee says, just tell me what to do, I'll do it, and give me my paycheck. An entrepreneur says, what's next? Where do I go from here? What can I do with? And you sound like one of these seasoned entrepreneurs that have found the passion in the next step, right? So a lot of times and I might start yakking, but we start a business because we know how to do something, right? I used to
Mm-hmm.
do taxes. I know how to do taxes, or I know how to advise a business on how to grow. But as we evolve as business owners, we're not as enamored with the actual legwork, and we're enamored with
No.
where we can take it, how we can manage others to empower them to. And I see that, and that's like so much fun as you're explaining technology. I remember when I used to be a programmer, and I love programming. It's like, I don't know why I didn't start a program. I know why I didn't start a programming business, but that's another story. But I loved programming. But at one point I was like, I will be in school forever, right? Because languages change, right? One, you master your principles, but then the language changes. Say, oh, I think I started with like VBA. Okay, now we're gonna go to VB.
Wow. Okay.
Now we're gonna, yeah. Oh, I'm old. VBA, VB. You know, they were like, we need C++.
Well done. You don't like it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's the filter. No, but all of these right, these programs, they evolve. And I remember 30 years ago now, almost 30 years ago, I went to a class. I forgot what the class was, and the gentleman said, the future of programming is point and click. And I'm like, how's that possible? I have no idea what it's like now, because that was so long ago, but it constantly evolves. I wouldn't want to continue to be doing the legwork, maybe not, but I definitely would like to point the company in the direction. That's what you guys are doing. And that's the fun of it, I would imagine, as far as your business is concerned. You get to drive the car. Am I right?
Exactly. And I think too, what makes it exciting is when you can take organizations, infuse that technology that you've learned, and watch that organization literally flip on its head and become bigger than life. That's everything. Because you literally watch it. Yeah.
I know what you
because
mean.
You're watching them and you're like, I mean, like even when we go in now during the digital transformation, and you walk in there and they're handing you job sheet books, physical forms, and everybody is, shuffling around with this and putting it in trays. And you're like, there is a better way. And you can take a process that might take them 2 weeks and scale it down to a couple hours in the morning by it just, as you say, click.
Yes.
It blows their mind. They don't have to sit down doing up Excel spreadsheets anymore. They could just click and generate a report. And you see that there's a moment, because I do a lot of the training, and there is a moment, that aha moment, that sweet
aha
spot.
moment. I love that moment. I know the moment.
Where and you see them light up and you're like, I've got them.
Yeah.
Got them.
And it's a great feeling, right? I know what you mean. Hey, and as we talk about business and success and what we love about it, that's the other thing that I love about being an entrepreneur, and part of what I consider success. Businesses have, maybe, if I'm just going to throw a number, 80 different things that you need in order to make it work. As the owner, you get to decide which of those 80 you want to do, right? You enjoy the aha moment. I'm going to focus on getting that aha moment. I'll let other people handle this part so that I can focus on the aha moment. Isn't that a beautiful part about running a business? That's how I feel.
But I got to tell you, it was tough in the beginning to learn to let go.
Absolutely.
That was tough, because in the beginning, when we were a smaller entity, we held on to everything. We did everything. We were intimately involved in everything. And I remember, this is a few years back, we had a mentor that was guiding us, and she said to us, at some point in time, in order to swing from one tree to the next, you have to let go of that vine.
Yes, you do.
And I was like, and you have to trust that what you've done, the training you've given, the guidance you've given is enough.
Yep.
And if it isn't, and they stumble, that's how they're going to learn. You guide them, you prop them up, you let them go. But the only way you can push forward and move forward is if you hand over some of what you're carrying to somebody else. That was tough.
Yeah. I know that's what, when I'm talking to clients about how to grow, that is the biggest challenge, right? Yeah. It's almost like some people say, I'm handing over my baby. Yeah. I understand that. But if you want to keep moving forward, you're going to have to, trust the nanny. So, right. You got to trust the nanny. So it's critical. That's cool. I like that. Now the story, the title of our discussion is Stories of Success. And obviously we've been talking about your business, and I think we've already touched on all these things that we love about it, but how do you define success?
Excellent question, Mark. For me, success is really any progress that I make with the goals that I've predefined for myself. And I'm saying that because depending on the goal, the progress might be small or the progress may be a huge leap.
Mm-hmm.
But once you keep stepping forward, once you keep moving closer and closer to the goal, to me, that's success. That means I've done more, I've done better than the day before.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So now I always ask this question. And I told you I made the assumption already. Do you consider your business to be successful? You would answer.
Yes.
Okay. I know it. I know it. How have you made your business successful? What are some of the things that you do that you can share with us to talk about how you've made your business successful?
I think for us, one of the main things we really wanted to do is help other businesses in their journey to grow, to develop. And one of the mandates that we have for our business is to not just help them to grow and develop, but to become globally competitive. And we finally, especially with digital transformation, have been able to really give businesses that level of leg up room, so to speak, where you can be globally competitive, even though you're sitting in Trinidad or wherever you may be sitting. Because before, a lot of businesses thought, okay, this is not for me, it's not possible, it's super expensive. And helping them to realize there is a manageable way to achieve that growth and expansion, that's huge. Because it's especially in the Caribbean, a lot of small, medium enterprises think, okay, my play area is literally where I sit. It's no further than this.
Right.
But to say, no, you can do more. If you have a website or e-commerce site, if you have an aggressive social media presence, you can reach out here, you can speak. These are things that are attainable and reachable, and this is how. You know, a lot of times we know it's possible, but we need somebody to give us the roadmap and to really give us that step by step. Okay, this is the next step. Okay, have you got that? Okay, do you see what's happening now? Okay, this is the next step. And we've been able to do that for quite a few organizations. And for me, that spells success for our organization. I mean, they're the normal things, of course, you know, expanding the organization, having more departments as we go from year to year. And yes, but that came from the ultimate vision, which is really supporting and developing other businesses just like us.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
So I want to try to encapsulate that and see if I have it right. You have become successful because you created a clear vision for what your company is, and you continue to work toward that specific vision, and you tweak and adjust to make sure that you're hitting that target on a consistent basis. I got it? Oh,
yeah.
Right. I like it. I like it. I like to encapsulate it because when I hear it, you know, I'm like, okay, I want to make sure that I understand it. And I want to make sure that I got it just so, because that key to success is interesting to me because everybody has a different vision of success.
Yes,
right.
agreed.
And so what I love about that question, how do you define it and how do you reach it? It's because every answer is varied. But if a person is listening to enough of these, they get to understand that my success is not what your success is.
No,
right.
Never
and
is.
The way I achieve it is going to be different. Right. So I love to hear the way that people define it and how they actually work toward making it a reality for them and their businesses. So along the way to the successful enterprise, you must have made at least one mistake that you care to share with us.
Oh, I've made many, but sure one. I remember actually, it was very much in the earlier days. And this is when I had now crossed over from working in a corporate enterprise into our organization. And in the corporate enterprise where I worked, I handled the subsidiaries of that enterprise. So if they had bills, if they had any sort of expenses, I was just paid automatically, no holds barred, because there was like an open checkbook. But then I joined our organization and I used the same approach, which wasn't the best.
Okay.
So the bills came in, and I'm like, the checkbox girl. Okay, so we've got this bill, this, no problem. So I paid off all the bills, and then it was end of month, time to pay salaries. And my husband goes, "What's happening? Where's all the funds?" And I go, "Oh, I paid the bills." He's like, "Yeah, but those bills aren't due right now. Those bills are due later. And you've done this, and we now have salaries." I go, "Oh." He's like, "Yeah." It's like, oh, that might be a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily we were able to just use personal funds and
Right.
handle the salaries and stuff. But he was like, "No, 101 in business. You never, as the bills hit pay." That I said, "But I used to do that." He's like, "No, no, not here, not in your." So I mean, there are a lot of life lessons along the way, and the huge difference between corporate and having your own family business is night and day, and how you manage it, and even the organizational structure. Because in the corporate entity was very hierarchical, but we run, while everybody knows their position, we run a very linear
Right.
organization. It's not as formal.
Right.
We're about getting the job done, not who you are, what hat you wear, because we're about, okay, the end goal, what does the client need? Let's make sure the client is satisfied, those kinds of things. So even that was an adjustment for me coming out of a corporate entity where if you need to talk to me,
Yes.
you go through my admin. And now it's like, knocking the door, "Hey," and I'm like, did you miss my admin?
Yeah.
So there was for me, a lot of adjustment, a lot of really understanding the shift in culture and the difference. And now, how many years later, it's completely understood, it's enjoyed, it's appreciated, because it really cuts out the red tape and all that bureaucracy that is involved in the corporate environment. So
yeah,
yeah.
I like that. Cash flow management. That's something I specialize in. There's so many businesses who can't manage their cash flow, right? And they're always in trouble. And so there's this expression, cash is king, right?
Yes.
You've heard that before, cash is king.
Oh, yes.
But cash flow will kill you. It'll kill the king if you don't have your cash flow right. So there's a whole lot of kings that are on lifelines because they're not managing that cash flow. That's really, really critical. I like that part about the hierarchy too, because when I came out of corporate America, it's completely different, right?
Yeah.
And it's a little bit stodgy, Well, I say corporate America, but that that's how we
yes,
it's a little stodgy. I can't speak to this guy, and you can't, this guy he can't. I remember one guy saying, "This guy went to NYU." That's nothing compared to someone else. Really?
Yeah.
I just want to get the job done. And it's a nice feeling to just get the job done,
Exactly. None of all of that, who you are, what is this? And it's just, this is a job. How can we all roll up our sleeves and just execute and make the end user happy? Period. It's literally just that simple.
And that's the fun part about creating your own business. You create your own culture, right?
Yeah.
I love that too. I like that. Let me pivot a little bit and ask you this question. What do you think is the single most important quality needed to be a successful business owner?
I think the ability to listen. Simple. The ability to listen. And listening from all standpoints, to your client, to your staff, to that inner voice in you that's telling you what to do, when to do, to, well, in this instance, my husband, but really the ability to listen. Because if you cannot do that, you're going to miss the mark. Because sometimes the best ideas come from the strangest quarters when you least expect it. And you, I didn't think about that. And sometimes it literally hits you over the head because it's such an obvious concept that you totally miss because you're so close to the problem. So for me, I think it's listening, just really stepping back and giving everybody their space to be seen, to be heard, to be understood.
I like that. That's not one that I've heard regularly in
Oh,
in
okay.
these interviews. So you've given us something new. Thank you very much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
um, and I think that's cool, because what I love about these things is you learn so many different aspects from so many different people. And I think if you put them all together, boy, you really can do something with your business, right?
Agreed.
And I've not heard one person yet say, the single biggest quality, and they give you one and it's just dead wrong. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, be a good thief, that's, you
Yeah.
always get somebody,
Yeah.
and we each have levels of success. So it's like asking you to extract from your experience what made you
Mhm.
successful. Being a good
Yeah.
listener. I like that. You actually mentioned that you had a mentor, right? No
Yes.
doubt you listened to your mentor. So how have mentors or coaches contributed to your success?
I think it's almost like a wake-up call, because when you're in it, you don't see it. You don't see the problems. You think you see the problems, but you don't. And having a mentor, this unbiased person, just literally telling you as it is,
Mhm.
like it, don't like it, doesn't matter. This is what the problem is, and this is what you need to do to fix it. And they have no vested interest, in the sense of, I'm not saying this to get your support. I'm not saying this to get his support, or I'm saying this because this is literally what it is. And for me, that made a huge difference, because when she started to highlight certain things, I was like, that's not a problem. Immediately you get super defensive. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, yes, it is. Because at that point in time, I just had my first child. And a lot of my time went into being the best mother that I could be.
Of course.
Because one of the reasons I left corporate is because I spent so much hours in corporate, and I really wanted to give my son that valued time. So I had a playpen set up in my office. I had he was like literally next to me. And not realizing, trying to straddle both, we love to wear that superhero cape, which
Mhm.
doesn't always work.
Mm.
And hearing your husband say, at some point in time, he needs to go to the daycare. And like, no. But hearing an outsider say, this is not working. What you're doing here is taking away from your productive time. It's better you take X dollars and put it towards the daycare, because your time is a lot more. Bottom line, an hour of your time is a lot more with you sitting and being productive than you trying to do this. And there's no vested interest in saying that, other than, this is what I have observed. This is what needs to happen. You need to get it done if you want to move forward to the next step. And it was significantly different and difficult to hear it, but it had to be said.
Mhm.
And it goes without saying, the first day that I did drop off to the daycare, I didn't want to let him go.
My baby.
I mean, I was the emotional basket case mom, where they had to take my baby off my hand. And
Oh.
yeah, I was the happy mess. And every minute I was like, okay, I'll be right back. I jump in my car and I drive to the daycare to peep through the window to make sure he's okay. Yeah, super paranoid, all of that. But by 2 weeks later, I realized how much time I had, how much valuable time I had, how much work I was able to get done, because now I could sit down from 8 to 4 and literally just focus on what I need to focus on. My mind isn't on, okay, time to do this with the baby, or I can literally just power through my day, get what I need to get done. So then when I meet up with him, I can give him his valuable time. I'm not trying to
Right.
split my time. So yeah, sometimes you need to hear the tough messages, but you need to hear it. Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. And what I really appreciate about that is she gave you this advice and you followed through, even though it was difficult, and you didn't see results minute one. It took a little bit of time. Sometimes we might get advice and we say, it didn't work. You have to give things time, right?
Definitely.
And if you're going to have a mentor, you're going to have a coach, or you're going to have an advisor, and you're going to invest in that advisor, which is what I tell them. If you're going to invest in me, then invest in the advice, give it time. And it doesn't mean it's always going to work, but it certainly will fail if you think it's going to work immediately. So being a good listener, which is what I think you said, Applying it
Yes.
makes all the difference in the world.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. And now 12 years later, you're not peeping through a daycare center.
No. I'm like, when are you guys going back?
Yeah, now he's probably going to be a grown man, and it's like, here we go.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
That's a beautiful story. And it really helps understand how that unbiased those unbiased eyes, the only thing that coaches are interested in is really your success. Right?
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
Right. Not taking side of your success. If I can get you successful, then I've done my job. That's my vision of success. Right. I just need you to be successful. So awesome.
Exactly.
Awesome. So now you've been in business for a lot of years. What advice would you give to a new business owner?
That's an excellent question. I think I would actually say to be patient with yourself. Everything is not going to happen all at once. That's the bottom line. Everything is not going to happen all at once. You're not going to make a profit immediately. Business takes time. It's like a newborn baby. You've got to literally caress it, hold it gently, nurture it. And bit by bit, as you move forward, you're going to see it develop. Certain things that was limping on or struggling with before, you're going to see that growth and progress take place. And every passing year, that's what you're going to see. But you have to be patient. The immediacy of get rich quick, it's going to blow up and maybe with the .coms, but anything else, no. It takes time. And if I could just add one more thing.
Of course.
What we learn in school Business 101 is the idealistic vision of a business. There are so many other wrenches that come in along the way that are so unexpected that those textbooks don't prepare you for. And those are just life lessons that you literally have to lean into, learn from, and get up and keep moving forward.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, book learning is different than life, right?
Oh God, yeah.
If they put everything in life in the book, you would never finish reading.
Very much. Very true. Very, very true. Very true.
That's awesome. I'm going to ask you one final question, if you don't mind. And it's kind of like going back to the beginning. If you could go right back before you started your business journey, what advice would you give yourself?
Wow. That's a tough one. What would I tell myself? I think I would tell myself to be open to advice. Yeah. Because I think when I stepped into business, I thought I already knew. I was in that zone, coming out of a very successful career in the corporate environment, running their subsidiaries. I think there is that invisible cushion or sofa, so to speak, that you don't even recognize exists. So you don't really fall, because it needs money, you ask for money. It needs this, you ask for that. You don't really see the pitfalls behind the scene, because there's a bit, you crack the vault open and you get cash to do whatever it is you need to do. But when you step across into that space where you're owning your own business, and those hands are removed, that's where the wake-up call came in. And I didn't grab it when I should have grabbed it. It took me a while, because I really ran in there thinking, okay, I know what to do. Oh, we need HR policies. Oh, we need this. Oh, we need that. And it's not that those things weren't needed, but not right now. In a small and medium enterprise, there are more pressing things that affect the bottom line and that's where your attention needs to be before you put all additional add-ons, so to speak. So yeah, I think it would be to have an open mind and to really take advice from the get-go.
I love it. I like it. That's a very good one, especially people who come out of the corporate world. They start a small business. We all start out with a small business. We don't start out with a large business, right? So I remember for a little bit, my wife was working with me in my office, and we're small firms, and she was complaining about the printer Like, I was like, no, you have to use this printer and let me route it. I had to do something with the laptop that she was working on. Isn't that how we do it in our company? When I worked at UBS, I'm like, girl, this ain't UBS. Don't you understand? This ain't UPS. I am your IT person and the HR person. And this is not going to work. Corporate America is a
That
whole other
argument
world.
sounds so familiar.
Oh, okay. Yes. This ain't UPS. So, oh my goodness. Well, anyway, I'm yakking now. It was so much fun talking to you and learning about your story and your company and watching your business, your journey to success. We really appreciate your time and the gems that you dropped. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure meeting you and spending this time with you.
Oh, yes, it was a blast. Thanks again. We look forward to seeing your continued journey to success.
Okay, thank you so much.